Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, The Enthusiastic Dabbler. I'm here today to talk with you about one of my really fun obsessions, which is houseplants, and to tell you about one of my very favorite plants, which is this little guy, purple velvet or purple passion, also known as its Latin name, Guinura aurantiaca. I actually don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it sure is fun to try. So this plant is a favorite of mine for a couple of different reasons, and I'm going to share with you a few small stories of how I came to enjoy houseplants and why this one is a favorite. So about 12 years ago, I decided to buy a houseplant for the first time in over a decade because I had killed earlier varieties when I was a young adult. And one of the very first plants I bought was this purple velvet. And I still have the original plant, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes, but you have to promise not to judge me because it looks really ratty right now. I've had it in poor lighting. So what I love about this plant is its beautiful texture. You can see the little velvet, maybe you can, the little velvet feel on the leaves and the gorgeous green color on one side and then the lovely purple on the back. I think I have one that has a stronger purple vibe, maybe. Yeah, here's Enid. She lives in my bathroom and you can see the difference between the purple and the green, and she's just lovely, isn't she? So originally, my first plant, I killed and revived several times. So obviously I didn't kill it all the way because it came back. But every time it would be on the brink of death, and then I would figure out I was overwatering or underwatering or some other crazy nonsense. And I'm definitely not a plant expert. I wasn't then, and I'm not now, but at least I know a few more things now than I did back in those days. So one day, as I was looking at my poor plant, I realized it had a healthy stem sticking out and the rest of it looked as if it were going to die. I decided to snip off the healthy end and just stick it in a fresh pot of dirt and see what happened. No kidding. I didn't know anything about plant propagation. Just thought, well, it's worth a try. Let's see what happens. And the thing took root and it grew and turned into a beautiful plant. I was wowed. So fast forward several years later, and my husband began to, let's just say he began to figure out that when I was coming home from the grocery store, I was bringing more than just groceries. I was bringing a new houseplant here and a new houseplant there, and we were on a pretty tight budget. So he would tease me and say, hey, if those aren't plants we can eat, let's not buy them. And I realized he was right. I couldn't keep up with this obsession and just buy a new plant every time I went to the store. So I began researching propagating, and I already knew this was a plant that I could propagate without very much effort. But of course, I wanted to find out if there were easier, faster, better, safer ways to propagate this plant. And the short answer is I've tried most of the methods. There may be others I don't know about, but the simplest ones are water propagation. And I'm just going to show you one that I have in process right now. This little guy has been sitting in my window and I have 4 or 5 clippings. You can see the lovely roots here, and I probably sometime in the next week or so try to pot that. Another thing that I like to try is taking a cutting and rather than just sticking it in the dirt, use some root hormone to try to get it to root out a little bit faster. But seriously, all of those methods have worked for me, including just taking a snip and sticking it down in the dirt. And one of the wonderful things is that this plant grows very quickly, unless I have it in poor lighting. I'm gonna go ahead and show you my original plant. This is Crabby Oddwaters. Poor guy. He's really struggling right now. You can see a couple of healthy pieces on there, and I need to get him into some better lighting because I don't want him to die altogether. He's been such a prolific breeder for me. But one of the things that tends to happen with the plant is that it can also go leggy in a hurry, which makes it great if you want to do some hanging vines. I haven't tried any of those with this plant in a while. I have a couple in my kitchen that are just starting. and they haven't really vined out and overflowed yet like I would like them to. But I'm just gonna show you an example. Here's one that's been sitting on my porch, and this is just, I literally stuck a whole bunch of cuttings into one pot, and you can see my little ZZ plant leaves here. Haven't done very much. My snake plant isn't going anywhere yet, but my purple velvet has just grown this big long stem, also my begonia. So I need to trim those guys back, but I just wanted to show you what happens when it takes off and goes really fast. Here's another healthy specimen that I have. So as I was getting ready to make this video, I started thinking about the number of these plants I have, because I've only shown you a few of them. I have quite a few more around the house. But as my husband teased me about propagating, I began to realize, like, this is the way that I can add more houseplants to my houseplant family without spending a lot of money. I only need to pay for the potting soil. And so I began to take cuttings and try to root out a lot of my houseplants. So here recently, I have been telling people, when I inevitably end up talking about houseplants, oh, I've got a lot. In fact, I probably have a problem. I think I have like 50 plants or more. I only have 4 good windows in my house. So, but I also have my front porch that I move a few plants out in the summer and then bring them back in the house for the winter. But as I was getting ready to make this video today, I decided to count my house plants, and I have, oh my gosh, 103. I hope my husband isn't watching this video, because he's going to go insane. I think I really do have a problem, but also I love to propagate plants because they're awesome to give away. When we have people over for dinner, I love to just grab a plant off the windowsill, a baby plant or even a mature one, and hand it to a friend and say, happy planting. And I've really enjoyed that process. But this is just a fun little plant to try. So if you haven't gotten into the world of houseplants, maybe you want to give it a try. I mean, what do you have to lose? You might kill a plant. I mean, I've done that lots of times, but I've also had a lot of fun and a lot of success. So it might be something that you would love to venture into. Let me know in the comments if you love houseplants, and if so, what are your favorite plants and which ones do you find are the easiest to propagate? Hey, thanks for spending time with me today. Look forward to seeing you next time.